welcome to our new moon collective reading. We do have a new moon happening in the sign of Aquarius. Many of us could be feeling that this is going to feel more like the start to the new year because Mars and Mercury are both direct. They were in retrograde, so it may have felt a little bit stuck, a little stagnant, like it was still a time of reflection, of slowdown. I personally felt it. These last 2 weeks have definitely been a little bit bumpy, a little bit chaotic, a lot of spontaneous, just like unexpected things came up that forced me to have to put a halt on like other plans. So if you were experiencing a little bit of that, I think now is the time that we're going to start feeling that forward momentum, that forward movement, starting on Sunday, the day after the new moon. Some of us could potentially be already feeling it, but yeah, there's a lot going on. A lot of that Saturnian energy that we had from Capricorn season is still here because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn as well. And Saturn is currently in the sign of Aquarius along with Venus. And this new moon is happening in like the very early degrees of Aquarius. And Pluto being in the very ending degrees of Capricorn, it's definitely also making its influence here because it's so close by. So when we're talking about these big planets like Saturn and Pluto, these are really big, serious, deep energies, very like no BS type of energy, getting very real, very clear about things, seeing things honestly, getting very practical, and needing to make like really big decisions, possibly really life-altering decisions. You know, both Saturn and Pluto, they're very slow-moving planets. So this new moon could kind of be bringing in a lot of decision-making having to do with long-lasting, life-altering things, which is why this new moon is like really important here. It's really powerful. And as you know, Saturn doesn't play. A lot of it has to do with like really facing something uncomfortable, like facing a harsh truth or a harsh reality, having to go through the difficulties, having to go through the challenges that you need to get through in order to get to where you want to get to. You know, like really reflecting on what that is and then making all of the necessary changes that you need to make to get like really serious and really real about, you know, putting a structure in place that's really going to assist you and helping you get to where it is that you want to get to, you know? Really like being determined, being disciplined, doing the work, laying down like a really solid foundation, cutting things off that no longer serve, that are against whatever it is that you are feeling you want to start aligning yourself with. And it's just about like getting really responsible and knowing what you have to do. So it's definitely like not a cozy time, not a super comfortable time. I feel like it is a time that's reflecting, getting out of your comfort zone, doing what needs to be done, getting real honest with yourself, facing the hard truths, you know, maybe doing the things that aren't so fun, doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, but know that you need to do, if it means it's going to align you or get you closer to what your purpose is. And with Venus and Saturn being conjunct with this new moon in Aquarius, which shout out to all of my fellow Venus in Aquarius. This is actually my natal placement in my Western chart. So it could also be a time where we're really reflecting on our relationships, our partnerships, friendships, you know, our social circles, contracts, and really like making like some big decisions surrounding that. Like we might be committing, like taking on certain responsibilities, committing to something, or it could be that we're releasing something. But Venus in Aquarius does have this like reputation of being like detached and cold, not super like fluffy and romantic. I think it tends to get a little bit misunderstood in my opinion, but you know, this could just mean that we are making these big decisions and like reflecting on these big decisions as it pertains to relationships kind of like on our own. So even though there is like an emphasis on relationships and love and partnerships or friendships or social circles, like who you want to be connecting with, who you want to be around you, what you want to commit to, and that sort of thing, it's not necessarily that it's being done like together, like with these people. Like you could be like kind of at a distance apart, kind of like reflecting on these things on your own. And I think like these decisions that you're making surrounding this area, they're going to be like long lasting ones. That's why it's so important, because it's not just kind of like a fling or something. It's kind of like decisions that you have to be making that are going to be here for the long haul, that are going to be affecting and influencing you for the long haul. So it is requiring like some kind of like deep reflection. And at this point, I think we should all be getting some type of clarity. And if you haven't, it should definitely be coming in soon for you, because I think during this period, we are all going to be experiencing like that forward movement where things are just going to feel like they might be moving really fast. And so I think now it's like a crucial time, you know, to really be making like these important, deep, meaningful decisions that are impacting, or that will be impacting us for the rest of this year for sure, and possibly even longer than that. So yeah, this one is like really important. It's very serious. It has like a very serious tone, very serious vibe with, you know, that Pluto and Saturnian influence here. So it is still like that time to like get real, get serious, face some things. It's not comfortable. It's doing what you have to do. It's getting real honest and very clear about what those things are. What do you need to commit to? Or maybe, you know, what do you need to cut off? What do you need to separate yourself from? What is no longer aligning? What actions do you need to take to align to what's meaningful to you and to what's purposeful to you? It's being willing to like face the challenges you need to face and get through whatever it is that you need to get through, if it means it's going to align you closer. So this could mean like you're cutting off people or cutting off friendships, or, you know, changing environments, or, you know, changing locations. You know, like you're really reflecting on like these details, where you need to stabilize things a little bit more to get to where you want to get to, and to focus on the work, on doing the work. So again, although we can be really reflecting on a lot of things pertaining to like community and like our social group, our social circles, and like social justice and stuff like that, I think that we're doing this like on our own, where it's a time where we are kind of like in solitude, or like we can be removed or detached or away, you know, to reflect on these things and to really like see what it is that we want. With Venus in Aquarius, conjunct Saturn, it can also be a time where you start kind of potentially seeing friends as more than friends. Maybe you are feeling romantic feelings for people at work, or for people that you've been friends with that you never really like saw that in that way, you know. That's another potential here that could be happening. But yeah, overall, it's all about focusing on your goals and focusing on how you want to progress, like how you want to move forward in life. We're really thinking about our future and planning ahead, and like what it is that we have to do, what it is that we have to cut off, what, you know, do we have to implement in our day-to-day routine that is going to align us to what it is that we want to do, to what it is that we want to create for ourselves. We're going to be like presented with the wisdom, or like with a chance, with an opportunity for change to happen. And it doesn't mean it's not going to come without its challenges, because I think that challenge here is still like a big theme. This isn't something that's going to be easy, and like I feel like, you know, it's coming through like with the energy of like, I have to do this because I know I have to do this, and it sucks, and there, yes, it's challenging and it's hard work, but it has to get done. Like this change is needed, you know, like coming to terms with that and just accepting that, and being able to like willingly face these challenges and meet these challenges, even if it means like you have to give up like certain pleasures, or you know what I mean, like even if it's just not super enjoyable at this time to do it. It's like, you know, it's what needs to get done. So this is kind of like just a general energy according to the astrology, but you can go ahead and see, like if you check your rising sign, you can see exactly like what house this moon is happening for you. So you can kind of pinpoint this energy even further and see like in what area of your life you could be feeling this type of energy the most in. I'm going to see if I include in the description below where this is happening, like what house this is happening in for each sign, and then you guys can go ahead and check your rising sign or any other important planetary placements to see, you know, just to get more insight where you can be feeling these energies the most. Okay, so getting into these cards, I'm seeing that many of us are reflecting right now on what it is that makes us happy, like what it is that we feel like sensitive towards, that we feel comfort, you know, like that we feel comforted by, that we feel nurtured, that we feel very like supported and held and like at home, where there's a softness, you know, it's like inviting this love, you know, like this love of what you do, this softness, this sweetness into your work, you know, into what it is that you do. So it's kind of trying to align like whatever it is that we do for work, whatever our duties are, like our responsibilities, it's like aligning that with something that we really value and love and treasure. I think a lot of us just want to feel happy with what it is that we're doing, how it is that we're presenting, how it is that we're showing up, how it is that we are leading, you know, like we may want to lead with more compassion, and that really matches like the Aquarius energy, because the Aquarius energy, it focuses like on the whole, on all of us. It's like the most humanitarian sign in the zodiac. So it's kind of like being a leader, but in a way that's going to be very like nurturing and soft and compassionate, not like in a way that's going to be scary, aggressive, or like selfishly, you know, only thinking about yourself, or like being on some kind of like a power trip or something, or feeling like you're superior, but showing up in a way that you're considering others and where you're being very kind, compassionate, warm, understanding, and really caring about like other people's experience and other people's well-being, and like feeling a responsibility to that, stepping more into that role of that leader that we want to be for others and also for ourselves, you know, like creating structures and rules and maintaining your duties, but in a way that's very like warm, loving to others, to self, or understanding what it is that we need to do to get there, to achieve this inner like happiness and fulfillment, and just feeling good about what it is that we do. Seeing where things are heavy, seeing where things, you know, are just not enjoyable, like seeing where we're taking on too much work, where we have too much responsibilities, where we don't feel this softness, you know, like we feel this heaviness, where maybe like maintaining our duties and our roles and all of it, it feels heavy, it's unenjoyable, it's draining, and it just feels like you're constantly busy all of the time. And we're trying to like invite like a softness where we are considering like our emotional state and our emotional happiness, and understanding that, you know, certain things just can't go on the way that they are. Just feeling that it's time for a change. Like we're all feeling the winds of change. We're all feeling like the wheel turning in our lives in some way, where we just want to release these burdens, release what no longer is aligning, release the ways that we can be self-sabotaging, release the ways that we are like our own worst enemy, where we are upholding something that just is like keeping us away from fulfillment, you know? Like these things are becoming very apparent to us, you know, we're seeing where there's just, where we're like exerting too much force, too much energy, and for what, you know, like we're seeing like, okay, is this worth it? Like I'm tired, I'm exhausted from doing this, from carrying this weight. I'm doing all of this. It's completely undesirable, and I feel so unfulfilled, and I feel uneasy. Am I doing this for a reason, for a purpose? Do I have to go through this discomfort just for the moment, or am I doing this like in vain, you know? Am I doing this because of bad habits, because of certain patterns that are still playing out, that I'm out of control in, that's causing this tension, that's causing this friction? Do I need to be working this hard? Does it need to be this hard? Like, what do I need to do to soften this moving forward? What do I need to do to feel fulfilled, to feel better, to feel like I'm more aligned, to feel like more at peace, you know? Like where every day doesn't feel like a battle. So take stock, you know, like are you around people like energy vampires, or people that you're constantly like arguing with or disagreeing with, or people that you have to defend yourself to, like prove yourself to, or like defend your point, or, you know, because this type of stuff, it's very energetically draining, and it can take away our energy from like doing other things that are meaningful in our lives. When you constantly feel like you have to defend yourself or defend your position or explain yourself, it could just mean that the people that you're around, or, you know, the job that you're doing even, that it's just incompatible with you. If it feels so bad, if it feels so heavy, we're really reflecting on like what truly makes us happy. I'm hearing that song, if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. If it makes you happy, then why the hell are you so sad? So I feel like, yes, like that's what we're doing. It's like, is this even making me happy? Like why do I feel this bad, you know, all the time? Why am I always so exhausted? Why am I always so drained? Why do I feel like I'm carrying the whole weight of the world on my back? You know, it's about really taking a good look and seeing like what it is that we need to change. Where are things not working? Where are things unaligned? Where are we feeling like a disconnect, a sadness, unsupported? Where do we want to invite more of this softness, this love, this compassion, you know, to put ourselves in the position where we're like aligning ourselves with more like-minded, kindred spirits, where it's like you don't have to fight anymore. It's like everyone can accept each other. I'm not saying that everyone has to agree, because of course not, you know, we're all different. None of us have to agree. That's what makes the world go round, right? But like where it doesn't feel so hard just to coexist, you know, where it's like you can be yourself, you can be who you are, and you're in a place where you're allowing others to do that, and others are giving you the space and the grace to do that. Everyone understands each other, supports each other, and it doesn't have to be like this big like conflict or this big fight all the time, you know? Where it's like you're allowed to have your opinion, I'm allowed to have my opinion. How about like, you know, we share opinions? How about we share information? Like for the purpose of sharing, for the purpose of sharing knowledge, information, wisdom, you know, like getting together with people that have maybe different levels of expertise in different areas, but that can come together and share and can like revolutionize things, you know, like perspectives or norms, you know, and can start kind of like visualizing something for the future, something that's like going to be more harmonious and that's going to be more solid and more aligned with what it is that you want, you know? So this is really like getting down to like the foundation, to the roots, and seeing like what isn't working, what needs to change, kind of like making these big decisions, these like life-altering decisions that are probably going to affect us over like a long period of time, getting real about what needs to change so that we can allow ourselves to align to our purpose and to our truth, and create like a work environment that is going to be harmonious, that it's going to be more like cohesive and like cooperative. Yes, that's the word. It's kind of like I'm seeing, whether this has to do with work or just like with your home life or just the people you're around or just like daily responsibilities, whatever this has to do with, it's kind of like it's combative, it's competitive, there's friction. So it's going from that energy to a more cooperative energy, and like reflecting on what are the changes that you need to make in order to invite that cooperative energy in, that nurturing, supportive, loving energy into these areas of our lives that like we deal with every single day, you know, like our work, our job, what it is that we do, our responsibilities, our duties, our day-to-day like lifestyle choices and routines and stuff like this, the people that we associate with, that we're around, that we work with, that we communicate with, that we're in connection with, that we may have contracts with, that we work with, you know, just all of it. Getting from a place that it's going to be like less, you know, about like power play, like who has the power and who's gonna win this debate and like who's gonna, you know what I mean, like that type of thing, like moving away from that, because believe it or not, that's extremely draining when you feel like you're in an environment where you have to constantly like do that, versus being in an environment that you feel supported and loved and accepted, and like you feel nurtured and you feel like you're around people that get it and, you know, that value what you have to say, that listen, that are open, that are receptive, you know, where you guys can kind of like interchange data and interchange information, learn from each other, put each other's like skill sets to use to create something very cohesive and harmonious, like in a work environment or in just your life in general, like just in like the direction of your life, like where you want to go, like what path you want to be on, what path you want to align to, what path do you want to merge to, like how do you want to be seen, your status, you know, these types of themes here is what I'm seeing coming up, and inviting more cooperation and love and community into that, versus it being just like solely about like, well, this is just for my status, this is just to like be elevated so other people can see how successful I am, like look at me, look, you know what I mean, like look how much money I make, look at my position, look how high I climbed up this ladder, you know, look how successful I am. It's like less about that and more about like, does this feel good? You know, am I around people that I trust, that I love, that support me, that I can support, that, you know, where we're compatible? Am I doing things that make me feel like a sense of meaning and purpose that is going to benefit people, you know, that is going to benefit like the whole? Is what I'm doing helping people? Is it helpful to others, you know? It's like taking whatever you've worked hard to master, or you know what I mean, like to perfect. Not all of us are specialists or experts, you know, but I'm saying like whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever it is that you just know a lot about because either you went to school, you studied, or because you just, you know, learned and you've been developing your skill set in a certain area. And it's just taking like all of that knowledge and all of that effort and energy that you put into something to really be like knowledgeable about it and to know a lot about it, and being able to then share it, you know, like not keep it just for yourself, but to take that information to then share it with the whole, you know, take that information and help people with it. And when a lot of people come together and do that, it's beautiful. It can be a very beautiful thing when we're all just sharing and connecting dots, understanding things from different perspectives, from different viewpoints, you know, like merging different skill sets and creating something with that, you know, creating like a new normal, a new structure, a more improved one that is going to feel good this time versus like feel rigid and heavy and just not fun. And before it feels good, you know, you might have to make like those hard choices, those hard decisions, like face those hard truths and those hard realities, and face the challenge of like going through those massive big changes that are going to like influence you for the long haul. Doing it because you know that it's just what has to get done. It's the foundational work that has to get done in order to see improvement in these areas that are chaotic or heavy, or like where there's not a lot of flow, there's just a bunch of like tension and friction and like bumping heads and clash, you know, like clashing, and just feeling like now we have the clarity, now we have the wisdom, and the opportunities are coming to us where we can make real changes in these areas. Changes that are going to be very effective, that are going to help people, that's going to bring like a certain justice, you know, like a social justice here. And that it, you know, it's just going to feel good, where we might like be changing our priority now to like, I want to feel good. Like, I want to feel at peace. I want to feel supported. I don't want to feel like I have to fight every day, or like I have to defend myself every day, like I have to compete every day. I just want to be around different people, you know, or like I want to be around in a better environment or a better location. Like, where do I need to go? What do I need to do in order for me to just feel better, to invite this warmth and this love and this support and this cooperation, this collaboration, you know, versus like this energy vampire stuff, and like sticking to things that are just like draining your energy and keeping you away from what it is that you want, where like how you feel inside matters. It's important, you know, because it contributes to like feeling at peace. So yeah, I think that we do need to make certain like personal sacrifices, or this is how it feels, in order to align better to maybe like our new values of spirituality, or just like feeling emotionally stable and well and at peace with everything, like our environment, work, friends, all of it, location, living situation, everything, and going to the root to do what needs to get done, as unpleasant as it is. Do what needs to get done so that you can remove like this sadness and this dead weight and this negativity, because from here on out, things are really going to start moving really fast. We're going to pick up in momentum. So I think a lot of us have probably gotten the clarity that we need. We know what we have to do. So it's just a matter of like getting real and like doing what we have to do, and just staying dedicated and determined and disciplined, because things are definitely going to start picking up fast. So you want to make sure that you are going in the right direction. You want to make sure that you're making progressions, that you're progressing and not like staying stuck and stagnant in whatever isn't working. So it's about like crossing from one threshold to another and becoming aware of the path that you have to take voluntary steps to control the life around you. And spirit is here to help you, you know, like guide you, so that they can help you get over this difficult path, because I am sensing difficulties. It seems like it's coming through with challenges here, which makes sense, you know, with that Saturnian energy and that Pluto energy. Like, these are like kind of like heavy hitters, you know? So yeah, there might be like a heavy desire here to be alone as you figure this stuff out and like make these really big life-altering changes and decisions and take action. Just know that we're all so adaptable, and we can handle so much more than what we think. We can do hard things, so you can do it, whatever it is that you're facing, whatever challenge it is that you need to get through. You got this, you can do it. Remember why you're doing it. Stay dedicated, stay disciplined. Be on your own right now if you have to. If you're feeling very distant, it's okay. Do what you have to do. Because I think we're like really trying to become leaders, or be around leaders that inspire love in those who work around them. I think this is becoming like very important here. So I pulled an oracle card from my new deck. It's called Journey of Love. It's by Alana Fairchild. This is it right here. And I pulled this oracle card for us for this new moon. So I pulled this one. It's called Dance of the Planets, and it's number 56, or the number 11. So let's see what the book says. It says, there are forces larger than your own personal destiny at work in your life now. Although they are not inharmonious to you, you may feel as though you are being blocked from, or on the other hand, rocketed towards the heavens on a roll that nothing can derail. Either way, the planets are dancing as they will, and there is an effect upon your destiny. It was meant to be at this time. From rising, there will be gentle rest to recover before rising again, and from restraint, there will be propulsion into greater stratospheres. All things in time, according to the wisdom of greater cycles. It is okay to trust in the cosmic cycles and divine timing. After all, what point is there to rush to the bus stop if the bus doesn't depart until tomorrow? And what point is there to hold back if you're ready and set to go? Trust in the timing and rhythm of your life, especially if it seems out of your control. That is the dance of the planets happening through you. This oracle brings you a message. Pray that the planetary forces funnel blessings of grace and unconditional love, mercy, and joy to you now, that their movements through your life may happen in such a way that you can make the most of it. These are the times when big shifts are possible, supported by cosmic movements. So pray for grace and then enjoy the ride. And the poem is, in those days, time was ours. We walked in the rain and held each other's hands. Your lips warm against my skin and your soul melting into mine. As night became morning amongst the cobblestone walks of now forgotten places we called ours. Interesting. I have to say I do like the other deck better, like the Rumi deck. The interpretations are just so much more deep and beautiful. But yeah, I think it resonated. It's talking about like, it's funny because it's talking about like astrology and like that, the influence of the planets and just like stay in process and trust in divine timing. Because I think that a lot of us are going through something difficult, something challenging, or having to like commit ourselves to something that could be difficult or challenging, or having to release things, which can also be difficult and challenging to do. So it's just kind of accepting like what is right now, what's happening, trusting in the process, staying in your process, and taking a step back and waiting if that's what you're feeling that you need to do, or moving ahead with something, like taking action if you're clear and you're ready to go. It's just kind of like going with the flow and believing in the unfolding and believing, that through this process you are attracting and merging with friends or, with social circles or with people where there's going to be like a really big purpose for you guys to fulfill, where there's going to be like really strong, enduring, supportive, loyal kind of relationships, friendships, where the foundation is being set to invite this in. Know that, like the coming together is happening. It's not about forcing anything. It's just about letting things be, letting things come to you, letting things happen as they may. But of course, you have to take the actions that you are feeling that need to be taken in order for you to like merge yourself and align yourself to this, because it wants to come in, These new experiences that are going to serve your growth, where you're going to feel like resonance, with those around you, whether this is like intimate partnerships, just friendships, social circles, job, environments, locations, living situations, this sort of thing. Okay, guys, so that was our message for this Aquarius new moon. I truly hope that this has served you, that it gave you some clarity. I do provide personal readings if you'd like to dive deeper into your specific situation, if you have any specific questions, or if you want to see how this new moon is affecting specifically you and your situation and what the advice from Spirit is. I also do general messages. It's if you don't have any questions, but you just want to see like what Spirit would like to communicate with you. You're just looking to connect with Spirit and see what messages they have for you. I love those. Those tend to be like really powerful because Spirit knows exactly like what they need to talk about with you, what's most important for you to hear in that moment. So those can be very profound. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to connect with you and to work with you. I will leave my information in the description below if you are interested. I hope you guys enjoy these energies. I know things have been a little weird these past couple weeks, and if you've been feeling it too, I feel like it's going to lift. Things are going to finally start feeling like we're moving forward, we're picking up momentum, we're feeling more like vital with Mars direct now, more like in our power, ready to take action, ready to move forward, where, the retrogrades gave us that time to reflect, to get clarity, to get revelations. And I feel like now we can put those things into motion. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.